What's up, my writing weirdos? Hey, I am BC, and this is BC Brown Books, where, of course, we get weird about words in the ways that only writers can. We write them, and we talk about writing them. And we're going to do both tonight. We're going to write them and talk about writing them. Of course, my fantastic co-host is here. Let's do a brief introduction, and then we will get that whole branding thing out of the way, because yay, branding and marketing for authors. And then we'll get down to the whole chatting and writing about what we're doing tonight. So, Sako, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, great. Howdy, Howlers. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, urban fantasy type stuff. And I'm a witch, a chaos witch more specifically. And I'm a graphic designer with a bachelor's in graphic design. So if you are looking to market yourself as an author, you can find me at Sako Tumi Voit. Links below. And if you would like to be a witchy or a witch, then you can also find me at The Witcher 2 with tag down below.
Links below. Awesome. Yes. And Sako is amazing resource for both. So you absolutely should go talk about writing, talk about graphic designing and marketing, and talk about witchy stuff. All right, let's do this whole marketing and branding thing, since, you know, we're all talking about marketing and branding. All right, as you all know, Sako and I are writing a book together called, tentatively titled Project Flambeau at this point, and we have been doing this project together live on stream since last July. We are coming to kind of what I think we've just determined is going to be a really good stopping point in our first draft, which is where we're looking to get as much word count quality as possible. So it's what she and I will be working on tonight when we do our writing sprints. Of course, for everybody that is here, we will be doing 20-minute writing sprints per usual, because I really like the 20-minute writing sprint. I used to be like really hardcore about 15 minutes, and like, I don't know what happened. Just all of a sudden it was just like, no, that's not enough time. And now I need 20 minutes, but 25 minutes is too long.
Yeah. It was a feel.
Yeah, kind of one of those things. So it's like 25 minutes. I found like the ADHD kicking in, like, I'm going to get distracted.
Me too.
But the 20 minutes seems to be a good sweet spot. So we will be doing that tonight. I want to say hi to some of my weirdos that are here. Debbie is one of my favorite weirdos. Good to see you. And Devin Cutting, Dick Waddle, the man with all the links / playlists. You guys should absolutely go and check out Devin's channel for writing stream playlists. He does them on a daily basis. He basically curates all that shit so you don't have to do any work in order to do some work. Dia Rob is here. Hey, Dia, good to see you. And Carrie H. Author is here. Good to see you as well. So yeah, like Sako and I were just discussing on our Project Flambeau, I think we've come to the conclusion that what we thought was going to be a full-length novel is really concisely wrapping itself up into more of a novella. But we have an idea and a possibility to do a second novella based on this particular story idea, which will be a continuation of the story, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. But it is of course, all of the, we're going to have to do a bunch of brainstorming and figure out where we can go with it. If the very roughly 2 minutes worth of chatting about a potential plot line is even going to be viable. So I'm sure that's going to be more of what we're doing on the streams coming up. But tonight, we're going to still work on our first draft and see where we can just flesh things out a little bit and where things are weird before we get into our second draft, which will be our editing phase.
Which concerns me because we bolstered up to 40 and now we're taking words away.
Yes, it is concerning, but again, I do think, I do think that we could I still think between the two stories, if we decide instead of publishing them, we can, of course, publish them independently with, a novella out 1 month and then a follow-up novella out the next month or the month after. Sure. I think it'll be fine with readers who are more interested in novellas. It seems like are they're very content with a 30,000 word novella, especially if there's a sequel to follow it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be fine, even if we do have to, once we start editing, we manage to even chop out 10,000 words, which is very feasible, of course. Devin, hashtag shit curator. Love it. But yeah. So tonight, when we are sharing the screen, I will be sharing my screen, during the sprints. So you'll be seeing what I'm working on. Sako will be doing her own thing off on her own screen because we can't share that many at once. So I think we should. So Sako, are you going to work in Project Flambeau, or are you going to work on?
I think I'm gonna get working on Project Flambeau and reread some of the scenes that you haven't bolstered yet, and see what's up.
Okay, so just letting you know, I kind of just scrolled through a few minutes ago, just looking at what you added, stuff like that, and I am going to jump into where Daisaku is getting ready to meet Kyler for the seance possession at the beginning.
With
Rufus. So I think that's where I'm going to jump into, just to kind of start that out. And I'm just going to go chronologically from there. As I can add, as I read through, I will, and I'll just kind of start jumping down chronologically from there.
Cool.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this screen shared. It will have the timer, the chat going on, and of course my document all at the same time. I wish I could figure out how to get this more centered. I'm gonna have to figure that out at some point, but I guess you'll be able to see all of the comments that Sako and I have made to each other off to the side as we sprint.
Yes.
So let's get going on this sprint in 3, 2, 1, sprint. All right. Beep, 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 beep. So how did everybody do on the sprint? You guys saw what I was working on, and that I don't really have a word count per se since I was jumping around, filling in and fleshing out stuff, but eyeballing it, I would probably say there's about 100 or so words there. So we did have a few folks that popped in during the sprint. Let me scroll back up just a little bit. Bonnie's Writer Life popped in. Always good to see you, Bonnie. And Allie Alexis Spriggs popped in. I like that. It's a Sako and a PC. Oh my gosh. And then some discussions about how early spring is coming in the UK. That would be nice, since it'd be nice for most of the US if spring would actually kind of start. But if you're not aware, the US, most of it's being hit by terrible snowstorms. Are you doing okay there, Sako? Or I know
everything's covered in ice. Yeah. Even online classes were canceled today.
Ooh, that's rough. So they must have been kind of just expecting potential infrastructure failure and being like, just in case, y'all don't have to do shit today, just stay warm.
We're supposed to get more snow tonight.
I know, I saw that.
And they've already said that they're going to resume classes tomorrow. So that's a great decision.
That's not likely. They should have just been like, you know what? Let's just cancel them for the rest of the week.
Right.
Monday we'll start back. There's only 2 fucking days. Sometimes that never I never got that, like, as a kid, like, why they would suddenly, like, they'd give us 1 day off. They would know that the weather would be shitty. It would be a Thursday, and then they'd be like, but we're still going to bring you back to school on Friday. And then, like, what, really?
What, really? Why?
I mean, I get that the roads are cleared and everything, and we only get so many days off every year, but it still seems stupid. Just give everybody a long weekend to make everybody happy. But,
right.
Yeah. So there was, some discussion about that and everything. Carrie is working on decluttering their office today so they can make room for the exercise bike to do some sort of exercise besides my back stretches and chasing the toddler. Hey, chasing the toddler is damn good exercise. Allie, isn't motherhood enough exercise? Yeah, it is. Kindle Batch Facebook messaging. I hate when I get just like any of my services that I have that just suddenly, like, it's bad enough that I get like emails and things like that about crap, but then it's like, oh, great. We also get 8 billion other types of notifications and stuff like that. Carrie. On all the streams, I've always said that all the hours I spend rocking my kid to sleep, I should have the most firm butt and thighs, but I don't. Yeah, and it's like when you're pacing with them when they're babies, and like you should have like amazing glutes and calves and stuff, but nope. Allie is headed off to sleep, up in 7 hours for online class, hoping this and the other 2 classes online I'm taking aren't too much. I keep telling myself that I'm taking on too much with my classes and my work and writing and streaming and doing videos. But if I slow down, I don't know what I'd do with myself anymore. I don't know how I spent so much time last year doing so little freelance work and having like more time available. I know I filled it very well because I was on like practically every stream every day, but right. I don't know how I managed to do it. Bonnie has a terrible song that I will not say the name to, but it is from The Sound of Music. We all know this song because it gets stuck in people's heads.
Earworm.
Yeah, I will not say the name of it because it makes it an earworm. Yeah. But I currently have and have had for like weeks now, the Malcolm in the Middle theme song stuck in my head. Like,
oh, geez.
It's not a terrible song, but it's not a great song either. So, like, yeah. Allie says, how do we go from adult 16-year-olds to 16-year-olds who die if I told you to shower? And Allie is tackle air hugging everyone. Not sure how, but I do. Hey, we're all good about virtual hugs. Virtual hugs are good. But yeah, Bonnie, Malcolm in the Middle is kind of one of my like go-to relaxation shows. Like I don't put any thought into it at all. It's kind of the show that I will put on when I know I'm only going to watch 1 or 2 episodes. I'm trying to get sleepy and I'm laying in bed. Because I don't really need to pay attention to it. I just giggle a little bit, and then I can easily shut it off and go back to sleep after, go to sleep after that. I liked this. Apparently we missed it, but Tiny Human came in to say goodnight, and she was waving at us during the sprint.
Oh, I missed it. Oh.
Yeah, Carrie was like, I think she thought that we were on a video call. So I as soon as I saw the comment, I reached and I was waving hi, Tiny Human. But apparently she was already in her other bed, in bed asleep. So, that's okay. That is okay. It happens. Child of God is here. Good to see you, my writing weirdo. Glad that we could provide another writing sprint for you. We will make sure that Devin Cutting provides a link to the playlist and to his channel, specifically to his channel, which has daily playlists, which you should check out. You've got 2 more chapters to finish in Act 1, and now you just got to do it. Yeah, we get there from time to time. We definitely get there from time to time. On the whole, I know I procrastinate occasionally where I'm like, I don't want to.
I am definitely procrastinating on a lot of projects.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. I have been a little bit on the 3rd book in my paranormal series. I've paranormal mystery series. I have been just a little bit procrastinating, but I've also just been slammed with work and schoolwork and studying and stuff like that the last couple of weeks. And so, I was like, I got to give myself, something has to give at some point, and I can only survive on so little sleep because I'm not a nice person without sleep. All right, Dia got 391 words. Good job. Debbie got most of the way, or got part of the way through a scene. Always good. As you saw, if you guys had glanced up at any point, I'm working my way through a scene, fleshing it out, adding things to it so that we can kind of elaborate in places that need to be elaborated in, but also plump the word count so that when we go back in and we edit, we don't really cut it to the bone where we're already kind of pretty skimpy as it is. So yes, Devin's link there for the playlists. You should go check those out, Child of God, because Devin is amazing and curates live streams every day. It's I would probably say, Devin, if I had to estimate, dependent on a given day, of course, but I would say there are probably almost a full 24 hours worth of streams. Almost. I know some of them kick in as early as 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, because that's my time I kind of think about, and then go until 10 or 11 o'clock at night, or sometimes later. But yeah, so yeah, I think we should just do another sprint.
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool. Let's just do another sprint and get that going. Bring that back up. All right, so we will start. Oh, let me reset the timer. That's a good idea. There we go. 20 minutes on the clock and sprinting in 3, 2, 1. Write your little hearts out, weirdos. Baby to beep, baby to beep, baby to beep. That is the timer for our second 20-minute sprint. Again, I don't know an exact word count for what I did. I would probably guess maybe another 50 or so words.
Cool.
Yeah, just chipping away at the word count. How did everybody else do?
It just occurred to me as you said beepity beep that in that first introduction to Kyler, we still don't know like what constitutes as this character, like what they look like or how they react to things or anything like that. Because originally the introduction to Kyler was in the in Kyler's apartment or house or whatever.
Yes, you are right.
So the next sprint, I'm going to go back and because I was like, we don't know who Brenner is, so I invented Brenner, and now I'm like, we don't know who Kyler is.
Yeah, because all of Kyler's personality was built into the original introductory scene with them.
Right.
But then we had to go and add the council scene, and yeah. So you're right.
So I'm gonna reintroduce Kyler,
which is great. That'll be fun. Like I said, Kyler is my favorite to write. Like, just love to, you know. Anyway, as some of you might have seen, I was having some internet trouble, I guess.
Really?
The chat kept disconnecting or reconnecting, the one that I had popped out and on the screen. So I just took that down. So hopefully that's one less strain on my internet. Not sure why the internet's being weird. Like the partner tonight's not playing a video game at the same time, not online video gaming at the same time they're streaming music, at the same time they're watching a movie or a video. They do a ton of stuff. But just being weird. RK made it. Good to see you, RK.
Hi, RK.
Bonnie got a little bit done. That's okay. A little done's better than none done. Carrie finished chapter 9 in the outline, started setting up Scrivener for the full draft. Very nice. So you outlined then, based on chapter to chapter, like you have an idea, Carrie, of during your outline that this is going to be chapter 1, this is going to be chapter 2, because that's interesting to me because I can't do that at all.
I do that with comics for sure, but I don't do it for fiction because there might be a better stopping point like halfway into that scene for a chapter break.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the same way, but as I know we've discussed before, and I think we've discussed on here before, I also, in my first 2 drafts, don't bother to put chapter breaks in at all. I just write it scene for scene for scene for scene, and then later I go, this is a natural progressive place for a chapter break to be.
Right, whereas I do it as we go.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've just let you do your thing. Do my thing. So it works. It works. So, but yeah, so, and basically on this scene, I'm just putting in little extra tidbits here and there about Rufus controlling Kyler's body and like a little less white room syndrome and fleshing out their surroundings a little bit. Not like big sweeping, hey, the hallway was like Green Mile tile kind of a thing, but more along the lines of a little bit more fleshed out on that morgue attendant, that there's another, where did that morgue attendant disappear to during this whole like seance thing? And like, I think this is interesting. And I think we should make a note if we do our follow-up, like we're kind of thinking, do our sequel. I would love to kind of have that morgue attendant come back in. Because I think there's something a little more there between the morgue attendant and Kyler. With the whole not wanting to meet, like not wanting to like make eye contact. I'd like to flesh that character out a little bit.
Cool.
So I don't know why I was just like, I'll even put a note in here. Let me scroll back up real quick and put a note in here about this kid, this young man. So if we sequel, would love to use this character again more. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, so it's an idea of another supporting character right there. If we get that far.
So, in your honor,
Ooh.
I bought like a 3-pound bag of candy. And
I'm being good today. I haven't eaten any candy.
I pulled like a whole bunch of like gummy bear things while I was, I was like, we're going to be streaming together. I should honor her with gummy bears.
Should break out some gummy bears. That's a good thing. Yeah, like so. When we're in the office for work, so our work actually, our company actually keeps a well-stocked free snacks for employees, and they are everything from an entire like drawer filled with assorted candies, to very healthy, like Cliff Bars and like sesame seed, not sesame seeds, but like sunflower seeds and little bags of almonds and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Plus a fully stocked refrigerator of sodas and teas and seltzer waters. And so when we're in the office, it's really funny because like they'll dump a whole mixed bag of candy in, and they have literally said, hold on for a second, she gets first dibs on all of the gummy bears.
Aww.
Because I just go through, and it's not the only candy I eat out of the drawer, but I will pick through to find the gummy bears first.
Right.
And I'm always like taking it back. I just got like handfuls of them at my desk that I could just reach over and grab for when I feel like it. Because when we have downtime and there's not a whole lot to do, especially if we can't help out other areas, then kind of I can do what I want for the most part. Like I can jump on a live stream and kind of be listening and going through the chat and stuff like that if I'm not particularly busy, which doesn't happen nearly often as it should. Usually I just have some stream playing randomly in the background, and occasionally I can sneak in some words here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But, But yeah. Okay, so yes. Haribo gummies are good. And the weird thing is so I've always had this gummy fascination. Like I always wanted to eat gummy bears. But for a long time growing up, I had a coconut allergy. And that was clear up until like my mid-20s. Sometime around between my mid-20s and 30, it just kind of lost it, like grew out of it or something like that. But I could never have the Haribo or Haribo, however it's pronounced, gummies because they're made with coconut oil.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, despite the fact that I was a gummy connoisseur, I had never had them. And then I got to have them for the first time. And I was like, okay, for store-bought, like a name brand, national type thing, these are like the best. However, as being a gummy bear connoisseur, I can officially say that the best gummy bears in existence are the Sprouts gummy bears that you get out of the tubs that you scoop out yourself. One, they're super soft, and no matter if they're left out for eons, they remain squishy and soft.
Oh.
2, they're big and fat and plump. And 3, they have a blue color, which is like a raspberry kind of flavor.
Nice.
And it's just like, oh, I get a bonus flavor. But yeah, so they are so good. Yes, they do also have beeswax. So a lot of my friends were angry with me when I wasn't quite full straight up vegan. I was pescatarian.
Sure.
But I tried to avoid everything except for fish.
Right.
And they were mad at me because I'd still eat the gummies and they had beeswax, because part of being vegan is no insects are harmed either, which means you don't do honey, you don't do, any of that stuff. So they were mad at me because they're like, you still eat the gummy bears and there's still beeswax. And I was like, all right, I'm not breaking this down to the insectoid level of
yeah.
like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm not giving up like the one major vice I have in this world, which also happens to be like my staple of my writing, like I guess superstitions or rituals that I have. I don't have to have gummy bears to write, but I know they don't. Yeah, I know they don't make me more productive. I know they don't do anything, but I like having them when I write. They're like a treat for me when I'm writing. My house suddenly smells like French fries or tater tots, and it's now driving me crazy. I don't know I don't know who's cooking, probably the roommate, but now I want tater tots and French fries. Dang it. I already had dinner. I'm gonna have to like ruin my bedtime routine and actually eat something right before bed that isn't just my almonds that I usually will snack on before bed or my grapes. I had to eat something terrible for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's do something not terrible for us. Let's do another sprint.
Sounds great.
All right, let's get this reset. All right, starting another 20 weirdos in. Yeah, that's not a 3. 3, 2, 1, sprint. Oh hey, beep 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 beep. I got to like mid sentence and like mid picturing the movement of a person as they were like moving out of a room nonchalantly, but yet not nonchalantly. Like they're trying to play it off as all cool. Because I'm
Right.
at that, yeah, I'm at that part right where Kyler, it's right at the end of the scene where Kyler leaves the morgue. And Daisaku goes upstairs and they like split their ways. But I wanted to put more emphasis on the statement that Kyler made saying that one was gnarly.
Yeah.
I wanted to put a little more like maybe they're not quite themselves yet, or maybe there's something residual. So I put in a line that might be too much, but I also think it's got a little tongue in cheek to it, which seems like Kyler would do. So we'll have to revisit if it's a too much line or not a too much line. But so I got in the middle of that, like trying to figure out how to make Kyler, who's very graceful in their movements, be not as graceful, but yet nonchalant at the same time. And yeah, right. So we had a couple people pop in during the
Yes, we did.
Laura is here. Hey, Laura. And I also think that this is awesome and I have to share it. I was trying to like comment on how much I liked it. One, Laura, I am jealous of people who can write flash fiction because I'm not any good at it.
That's my strength.
Yeah, I am not any good at it. I am a novelist. I take 50,000 words to introduce myself. So I've never been good at it. But on top of that, I love dystopian. And what she wrote is dystopian AF. And I just love it. So her hair was the color of rust. So was her skin and nails and the hollowed out sockets where her eyes should have been. Her body flaked and disintegrated, leaving gouges in her once perfect form. Love it. It's so cool. I'm just I've just got like this whole like this woman crumbling and the rust flakes. I love it. It gave me goosebumps. She says the whole story is influenced by War of the Worlds, Full Metal Alchemist, and Umbrella Academy, of which I have seen all. And think they're awesome, and read a few of them as well. And think they're awesome. There was some shouting back and forth of names of everybody greeting each other and excited to see each other.
Hi, Eddie.
Yeah.
Hi,
and Heather popped in doing some drawing. Thought they'd say hi, hit the like button. Thank you. Do appreciate that. So I was doing some drawing before the stream started, and I showed it to Sako, and I want to show it to everybody else because, as you all know, I have been teaching myself to draw since fall of 2019 now. And by teaching myself to draw, I just mean I look at a picture and try and replicate it as best as I can. I have yet to be able to draw anything from my imagination, if that makes sense, until the other day. And I actually started, this is the picture that I started drawing last Wednesday on Savy's sleepover.
Oh, nice.
But then I just couldn't get in the mind frame, so I switched over to writing at one point. But I finally finished it up today, and I was very excited to be able to share it with everyone because I finally did something imaginative. Now, I'm sure that there are a ton of like artistic errors in it and stuff like that because like I don't have any like formal training about how light should be, how shadows should be, how it should swirl together. But
still yet. That's a big step.
Yeah. So I was excited to actually do something out of my brain and not just straight up from a reference photo.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited about it. Eddie is here. Hey, Eddie. Good to see you. Love Eddie. One of my favorite peeps. Carrie said husband distracted, so no work done. Think I'm going to call it anyway. Have to be at least 20 minutes screen free or so before bed. I try to be that way. My partner's really, so for a very long time, I refused to allow a television to be in the bedroom. The only time I
have a similar mind.
Yeah. The only time I had a television in my bedroom while I was briefly living with my mother, taking care of her after her surgery. And that's the only time I really had a TV in my bedroom since I was like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the TV in my bedroom, y'all are going to laugh about. It was a 13-inch black and white TV.
Nice.
Like that we got at like Goodwill or one of the local thrift stores, probably St. Vincent's de Paul or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I had like growing up. So even things that were in color that I could manage to get with the rabbit ears, I still watched black and white. But yeah, like until very recently, my partner somehow convinced me to go ahead and put a television in the bedroom. And at first it was okay because it was just going to be like, we're just going to have a TV in the bedroom for those lazy days when we don't want to do anything. We just want to stay in bed, pig out, and movie marathon or something. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Rather than us doing this on the couch, we could do it way more comfortably in our bed.
Sure.
And I was like, that's cool. And then it kind of became like then it evolved or de-evolved rather into we're just going to watch a couple of episodes of throwaway episodes of Malcolm in the Middle before we fall asleep.
Oh no.
And so now it's a nightly thing and it drives me like because when I decide to go into the bedroom, I'm done. Like I am exhausted and my brain is ready and my body is ready to go to bed. And so I don't need that unwind time, but my partner, we could literally, so last night, this is the funny thing. Last night, we decided we were going to watch, because we've decided we're going to start watching Attack on Titan, which is an anime. Okay. For those who don't know, it's a amazing manga that turned to anime.
Yep.
And it's an amazing series. It is mind-blowing. It is visually stunning. And on top of that, the storyline is actually surprising enough that I can't just predict where it's going to go, which is cool from a writer's standpoint. But so we decided we were going to watch it. So we watched, last night, we watched a couple of episodes, like on the couch in the living room before I was like, okay, I'm tired. It's time to go to bed. So we get dressed for bed. We go into the bedroom and he's all like turning on the TV. He's like, I need to wind down and watch some Malcolm in the Middle. And I was like, we just spent 2 hours watching anime of winding down for the evening. He's like, well, no, because I had to think about that. And I was like, okay. I was like, I get that you unplug your brain when or I get that, not everybody unplugs their brain when they're watching TV or movies or whatever. I was like, but I pretty much unplug my brain. It's the one time that my brain is not just, I'm sitting here going, that's a bad plot device or that's, crappy dialogue or whatever, but I'm rarely like super analyzing something unless I like have that thought. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to have to nip this in the bud real soon about this whole have to watch something now while in bed, because that is not what the original deal was with the TV in the bedroom.
Right.
Bonnie gave me a little love for my art. Laura as well. Heather as well. I do appreciate that. I'm still super excited about it. I'm going to see if I'm inspired to draw something else, start something else tomorrow. This is also like one of the first things that's taken more than a couple of days. Yeah. More than like I started it, didn't have time to finish it and finished it the next day pretty easily. Mm-hmm. This actually took me a few days to be like, now where does that line need to be and how does that need to be blended? And, Heather said that's more than I've been doing lately. I've been attempting to draw, really just doodle books lately. That's okay.
Mm. Also, The Who is awesome.
Oh, I skipped.
Yeah. The Who is awesome.
The Who is awesome. That might be a good idea to switch to streaming something else so that you can sleep soon. It's not like conducive to like. It's kind of peppy. It's got some pep.
If you want to call it pep.
Yeah, pep. It's got energy. It has energy behind it. Laura needs to catch up on season 4 of Attack on Titan. Yeah, we just started it, so we're only like almost to the end of season 1. Pretty excited. Eddie says I use Ghibli films as self-therapy. What's Ghibli films?
Howl's Moving Castle, Princess
Oh,
Mononoke.
okay. I just didn't. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, those are good self therapy. Princess Mononoke is one of those movies that I love watching it. So, like any opportunity to put it on, I will watch it.
I love that it was a collaboration between the United States and Japan. Because not United States. I mean, like the Western world and Japan. Like, because Neil Gaiman wrote the script for that.
Yes. And it was very beautifully written and then very beautifully animated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's so
Spirited Away, yeah.
Spirited Away. Spirited Away. Yeah, just absolutely amazing.
The one with the mermaid whose name is escaping me at the moment.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, there's a. It starts with a P, doesn't it? Help me out, guys.
If you guys know the mermaid.
Konya. Yeah.
There we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have not seen it yet. I keep intending to watch it and have not seen it yet. So I was trying to. So I was telling my partner about because he's just getting into anime, really. And I was never really big on anime. There were certain ones that I really loved, like The Last Unicorn and Princess Mononoke and Howl's Moving Castle and Grave of the Fireflies. But yeah, so he's like getting into all of these new anime series and he's all excited learning about what is considered anime and what's considered a Western culture animation remnant, reminiscent of anime. And he's like, I didn't know there was a difference. I didn't know that it's not anime if it's not produced in Japan.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't know that either, really, after all these years. I was like, but yeah. So,
Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind was actually my first anime when I was like 4.
Oh, nice. I think so. My first anime that I can really recall, not counting Sailor Moon, was The Last Unicorn.
Yeah, we watched that a lot as well.
Yeah. The Secret World of Arietti is another one, but the guy
Miyazaki,
yes.
Yeah,
Miyazaki. Yeah, there we go. Miyazaki. Yeah,
he is like Walt Disney.
It's kind of the Walt Disney of.
He also hates anime.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Which is why his movies are the way they are.
Okay, I can see that. All right.
He hates generic anime.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna have to do a little more research on it. Laura wrote their humanities research paper on Spirited Away back in college.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. Bonnie says they need to focus. You, me, and everybody else.
You, me, and everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie is blown away that Miyazaki does not like anime. He's not a fan of.
He would much rather watch Disney.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So my partner and I were commenting on the interesting combination of the still art and the actual animation in Attack on Titan. Because my partner was like, I wonder if it's a production thing that it costs less to have these still frames periodically and then do the big animated action scenes and stuff like that. But I told him, I said, I would think, I mean, maybe, and that probably is like a factor, but I would almost think that since most anime evolves out of some type of manga to begin with, that it's more of a nod to the manga.
It is both.
Art. Yeah. I figured it was probably a little bit of both, but I thought the Japanese culture strikes me as always giving credit where credit is due when they build off of an existing universe and off of an existing art form. I think is, I don't know. Eddie says, I love how you have your finger on the pulse of everything, Sako.
Just when it comes to art.
Pretty much art. She's got it nailed down. Art, gaming. Oh no, come on. Because so you do art, you do gaming, you do witchy stuff. You've got your finger on the pulse of music a little bit too.
Yeah,
I mean, you are well rounded.
Why, thank you. I did not take that into account.
You're also I guess so. You're very well rounded in all of the humanities.
Thank you.
So Debbie didn't much care for The Last Unicorn. Storyline, animation style, voices, dubbing.
Nobuo Uematsu actually did the original designs for The Last Unicorn. He's the guy who does the designs for Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like his studio came up with the designs for A Last Unicorn. So that was like super cool.
Yeah. Cool. I do like the Final Fantasy style animation.
The wizard talks too much.
Okay, the wizard does talk a lot.
Yeah.
The wizard does talk a lot. Yeah. Laura's got some more flash fiction for us. The weathered leather-bound tome cracked as she opened it. The tea-dyed pages with ink illustrations flipped and fluttered, revealing their secrets. She had studied the descriptions of all of the eldritch gods and drawn them to the best of her ability with spills of inky darkness to obscure their more unknowable aspects. Laura, now I need to figure out which eldritch god. We as writers, we do that to ourselves all the time. We write ourselves into a whole, I got to research something now. Debbie did like the art style. And Eddie loved The Last Unicorn. That king was Charles Dance.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. Charles Dance, Numsy, from The Golden Child. Numsy. I call him that every time I see him in anything. And my partner's always like, I don't get that reference. And I'm like, how do you not remember Eddie Murphy calling this uber, like, straight-laced demon in disguise, Numsy, his brother, Numsy. I was like, I don't know. It just, every time I see the man, hear his voice, doesn't matter. I automatically go to Numsy. Okay, so we've got like 15 minutes left in the stream. We could do a 15-minute sprint, or if we're cool with going a few extra minutes over, we could pull off another 20 and see what we could get plugged in there. What do you want to do?
We could blow off writing and talk about writing.
We could blow off writing and talk about writing. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Totally.
We've got like 13 minutes left. I'm like, what can we do with 13 minutes? I don't know.
We can blow up writing. It's all good. It's all good. Like Eddie's just like, he's sexy. Charles Dance is sexy. Eddie's voting for a 15-minute sprint. But I'm going with Sako's suggestion here because I want to remain lazy. I am going to have to.
Is it really being lazy if we're talking about writing?
It is not.
We're just redirecting the energy.
Yeah, it is not. That's true. Before I can jump off the computer, I have to finish this sentence that I didn't finish during the last sprint. But I have not actually seen Alexa's new video.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Wow. Okay. Congrats to her. And he's like, no. Devin's voting for a 75-minute sprint.
Of course he is. Yeah.
And Laura follows up with a prompt. No, Devin. No. Debbie had to tell her coworker he had seen and loved anime. He just didn't know it, i.e. Thundercats and Voltron.
Yeah.
So true.
Thundercats was Rankin Bass, though. So that's sort of anime. They're Western animators.
Yeah, it's not produced in Japan by Japanese animators. So that technically is what makes it official anime. Everything else is just in the style of kind of a thing.
No, Devin.
I love that. She sold it. Oh, she sold it on the proposal alone.
Wow.
Nice. I don't know if I will ever be at that stage.
Where you can sell a book on proposal alone.
Yeah, because despite the fact that I outline pretty thoroughly, my end product is always just enough different from my proposed product that it wouldn't be the same thing.
Right.
Like, yeah, so. Oh, the original Voltron.
Yeah, the original Voltron was anime.
Yeah, that is correct.
But Thundercats was not.
Yes, but Thundercats, no. But yes, original Voltron was. And I loved Voltron. I also loved Thundercats, despite it being incredibly sexist and misogynistic. But
it had its problems.
Yeah, it had its problems. It was very much a product of its time. Yeah. But it also was imaginative and clever and fun. So Devin says if you want more sprints, Tessa is streaming. You definitely should check that out. Check out Devin's channel for all of the playlists. Cool. Laura has 6 stories out on submission to anthologies right now, finishing another to submit on Monday. Cool.
Whoa.
We'll keep everything crossed. Let me cross eyes, tongue, fingers, legs, arms. Just the waiting game for responses. Yeah.
Ow. I got a scratch and I don't know where I got it from.
I have woken up the last week with a new bug bite in a new place, like every day.
There is a spider in your bed.
There has to be. I have fluffed. I have shooken everything out. Shaken everything out.
Shaken.
Yeah. I have like completely taken off the bedclothes and put them back on. I've like shaken out the pillows. I've done everything I can think of. It gets vacuumed in there daily because of the Roomba. I've checked everything. So we have Simply Green, and they're just going to come out and, like spray again. Because I was like, it's got to be a spider because I'm only getting these one-off bites here and there. But
which means we keep rolling on it somehow magically.
Yeah.
And it's like, no!
Yeah. But 2 of these bites are in clothing awkward places. Like once I put on day clothes, like the hem of things just rubs. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. But like, of course, in my PJs, it doesn't, and I'm like, it's driving me nuts. But, then he says, novels are a whole other beast. That is true. Short stories / fictions, they don't take nearly as long to write. Because Eddie has 1 out on submission, but a full script manuscript request right before Christmas. Yeah, nice. Eddie, I don't think any of us that write novels can produce. It couldn't be quality content as quickly as you could produce short stories for submission. Because it takes so long.
Yeah, that's true.
The word count alone, unless you're like a 10K a day writer.
Which my mother is one of those. Like, she says on a good weekend, she can knock out 50,000 words.
So jealous.
And I'm like, which is why she laughs at me when I'm like, hey, how about NaNoWriMo? Yeah. She doesn't believe in structure, though. Oh. She's just RPing by herself is what she's doing.
Okay. So yeah, she's just more freeform, roll with it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dice.
Roll with it. Yeah. Eddie says, awesome. Do you use Query Tracker? I use Query Tracker.
Cool.
So, not that I submit very much anymore short fiction. If the right project comes up, I'm like honed in on Mad Raptor. I'm just waiting for something that I think I can write and write well, and or something that matches something I already have for like them to come up with like submissions are open for urban fantasy, and I'm like, yeah, like kind of a thing.
That'd be cool.
I'm just like, Mad Raptor, I want a dino, damn it. Plus, I also want to support our friend. So
I also want to support our friends. Yeah, Doll has been drowning in slush lately.
I know, and she's loving it.
Yeah, she's loving it.
And I love that she's getting to finally do like.
Yeah. Now she's getting over imposter syndrome is what's happening, which is awesome.
It's so nice when a writer can finally break away from that, like stop doubting their skills, stop doubting their talent, and be able to actually start applying what they know, not only to their own work, although that's usually what happens first, but being able to apply it to others. Right. I think it's so cool. And I'm so happy because she has second guessed herself since I've been on Authortube watching her. Like, she's pretty much second guessed herself. So I'm just glad to like see her getting over it. Eddie, 10K a day. Sigh.
My sister, like, she's being commissioned to write a book. And so it's the guy's story. She's just like fleshing it out into novel form. And like, I asked her, like, well, how much do you write an hour? And she was like, 4 to 6K. And I was like,
an hour?
An hour?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I retract my previous statement about there's no way to write a novel at the speed that people write shorter fiction, because apparently there is.
She, however, is disabled. Like she's chronically ill. So there are days where she can't make it to her desk.
Yeah. And that's understandable.
So
dealing with any kind of illness.
A little bit of give and take.
Yeah.
There. At least when she sits down, she can whack it out. But like if she has to make it to the desk to do that.
Yep. So Lori does not use Query Tracker, just waits for their email and log into Submittable that they had submit through for a few of them. Bonnie would love to do a hotel weekend away ride-a-thon.
Me too.
Me too. I don't even.
The idea of doing the party at Savy's or the party at my place or the party at RK's, like,
and y'all are welcome to Arizona too. We could kind of hit like every portion of the U.S. I mean,
right? It would be, though. Here, I would say let's get an Airbnb or something, and like. Probably like in Richmond or in Baltimore, like somewhere with like super history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah. So, we do a little East Coast with you. We head up to the Midwest with Savvy for Chicago, which is iconic anyway. We head down to I can't call it the South.
It is.
Because New Orleans. But New Orleans is its own beast.
It's the deep South.
It's the deep South, but at the same time, cultured and diverse.
Well, NOLA
and urban. Yeah,
it is very urban. Yeah. NOLA, but there are parts of Louisiana that are not urban.
Oh no! Yeah, traveling through Louisiana to get to Nolan, you're just like. Oh, did I enter? What third world country did I enter? Like it can be crazy. So, and then, so we head down to NOLA for that. Oh, it looks like Laura says we have to go up to
Toronto. Yay!
Okay. So let's see. We're going to go East Coast with Virginia, we'll do Toronto and then come back down to Chicago and then come back down to NOLA and then let's just skip all those states in between, and we're going to bounce over to me in Arizona. Now we need somebody in the Northwest. So we need an Oregon or Washington or a NoCal.
Amber or oh my God. Come on, Sako.
Well, Devin, Devin, you're just going to have to come on over to Laura's when we hit Toronto if you're near Toronto. So
yeah.
Eddie's in Alberta.
Or a Disney break in California.
Oh, yeah, we could top it off by going to Disney in California. Plus, there's got to be like cool writer things that's there.
Oh my God, the Airbnbs in California are amazing.
Oh, I know. So we went to Santa Monica Boulevard. I wanted to go out onto the pier, and I wanted to see like all of that. And we did that not this past December, but pre-COVID, the December before. Mm-hmm. And the Airbnb was this. It would have been this beautiful apartment if we had gotten into it that had this beautiful like view of the beach and everything, but we never got into it. All we saw were the pictures of it. We ended up having to go to a hotel because it was a whole big Airbnb fiasco. But like when we were looking at just booking things for the Airbnbs there, I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. And they really weren't that badly priced. They were really well priced. Yeah, I was like,
you could like Airbnb a tent, like a freaking yurt,
like a yurt on the beach, and you're good.
Yeah.
Devin was wanting to know if we were thinking about Meadow. Meadow would be in our northwest.
Yeah,
Meadow would be in our northwest, and she'd probably, she'd probably be cool with that. We could karaoke and Sims, and then do some writing. Okay, well, we are actually at about the 2-hour mark, so we go ahead and do our outros. Sako, go ahead and tell people who you are, even though I know everybody knows who you are, but just in case.
I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. So if you are looking to market yourself as an author, you can find me at Sako Tumi Voit. And if you would like to be a witchier witch, you can find me at the Witch of Till with tag, also in the description below.
Yes. All right, weirdos, you all know me. I am BC, and of course, this is BC Brown Books, where I hope you know where you're at for the evening. If not, you're a bigger weirdo than I thought you were. Anyway, normally we get weird about words in the ways that only writers can. We write them, we talk about writing them, we talk about all sorts of other shit too, but mostly those two things. And I think we did a lot of that tonight. So I'm really happy with where Project Flambeau is at the moment. I still think we're doing well. And even though I know we're both disappointed a little bit that it's not going to be a full-fledged, full-length novel in a one-off, I'm excited about the prospect, honestly, of writing an additional, writing a sequel to it. And even, and this will be my first foray into novella.
Oh, cool. Mine too, actually.
So yeah, this is our first thing that we're co-writing. First time we've written a book live on stream from inception all the way through, and our first novellas together. So I think it's awesome.
It is awesome.
All right, everybody. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. I really do appreciate it. Go head on over to Tessa's stream. Let me go back up and pop that on here. Where did that go? Can't find Tessa's stream, but here's the playlist on Devin's channel. So you should go to that and go to Tessa's stream because she is streaming now and get some more words in. All right, everybody have a great night, and we will see you on Sako's stream on Monday. At least I hope I will if homework and work doesn't kill me, because I hate when it interferes, but life does do that as writers. All right, have a good night, everybody. See ya.
Good night. Good night. Good night.